Hey, me and Matt here, and
I'm Killer Kyle.
welcome to another episode of Wheels of Fury. Hey, me and Matt here, this is Killer Kyle, and welcome to another episode of Wheels of Fury, and a continuation of a look back at Year Edition.
Yes.
1997.
Yep, last week we did 97's Bash at the Beach. And right now we are going to do 1997's
ECW Hardcore Heaven.
Hardcore Heaven.
And I honestly didn't know a lot about ECW.
Yeah.
And trying to keep up with WWF, because at the time I kind of fell in and out of it, so I didn't know too much. I think I saw a little bit of the ECW first invasion, if you will.
Right.
So it kind of seems like WWF and ECW, even though ECW was more or less an underground promotion, and we'll get into that when we get into that.
Mhm.
It was just kind of were new.
Yeah.
And being around for a while, starting out as Eastern Championship Wrestling.
Yep.
And then, of course, taken over by Paul Heyman as Extreme Championship Wrestling. It was kind of frowned upon by some of the WWF wrestlers.
Yeah. This is around the time when they had the, I'll call it better ECW invasion, if you want to call it that. Now, the one in 2001 was okay, but, well, I mean, it was okay.
I take that back, actually. 2010, or whatever the fuck it. 2006?
The revamp of ECW. I mean, the whole thing in 2001 was really good. Could have been better, but 97, 96, 97, there was a real heat and kind of despisal by WWF towards ECW. And there was one particular episode of Monday Night Raw where you had ECW stars show up and do some stuff, and of course you have the infamous incident. Of course, this at that point in time was where they had the big letters spelled Raw on the stage, and of course the infamous Sabu falling off the R incident.
Yeah. And one thing I didn't know, maybe I did, and just forgot about it for a long, long time, but watching the Icon with Rob Van Dam.
Right.
And his involvement in WWF for, I don't even know how many months.
Yeah. It was just like before Rob Van Dam became the household WWE star.
Yeah.
He appeared in the WWF 92, I want to say. 91, 92-ish. He went under the name Robbie V. And he was there for, I don't know, I want to say probably 6 months.
WCW? Yeah.
WCW, yeah.
Foul!
He was there a very short period of time, and then, of course, he went to ECW, and, the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so, with that,
Taz versus no gimmicks needed Chris Candido. The late Chris Candido. I believe this was for the ECW Television Championship.
Right. Yeah. And that, you know, it's kind of like his career was, it's pretty underrated if I say so myself.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a stellar career in ECW, but you look at his career, I don't know if he wrestled in Smoky Mountain or WCW. I have to look that up. But I do know the Body Donnas.
The Body Donnas. Skip and Zip.
Yes.
Being managed, of course, by Chris's girlfriend, fiance, Tammy.
Yeah, Tammy Cinch.
Cinch.
Trainwreck. Anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this was a good match, too. And I mean,
Oh,
obviously, Taz is known as the human suplex machine.
Yeah. You know, before there was Brock, before there was Benoit, Angle, anybody else, Taz was the original Suplex City.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Anyways, Taz won.
Yeah.
Winning, keeping the television title.
At one point, there was a spot where I think Taz was going to go for an atomic drop on Candido and then just straight up get kick City, bitch.
Oh god, yeah.
And it's like, and then, see, that was the thing, like, ECW was very, not against the rules, but they were very lenient with the rules, I'll say.
Yes. Yeah, I'm just glad that Chris remembered to
Have a come to Jesus moment. We're a fucking cup!
Anyway, so, yeah, that was a good match. And like I said, Taz is probably one of the best hardcore style wrestlers that unfortunately, I don't think he can wrestle no more, but he's like been in commentary for a long time, and he did wrestle here and there in Impact Wrestling.
I think so.
I mean, he was under the tutelage, well, he managed Samoa Joe
Yeah.
for a while, and Aces and Eights and all that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it sucks. I mean, wish he could get back into the ring, but doesn't seem like it's going to happen anytime soon.
Not likely, and I know, like, he does have the whole Team Taz thing going, and yeah, he does do commentary, so I mean, he's probably happy with what he's got going on right now, anyway.
This match, you got Spike Dudley versus New Jersey native Bam Bam Bigelow.
Beast from the East.
The Beast from the East.
These guys, oh my god, they had some absolutely insane fucking matches.
Oh god, yeah.
And of course, the trademark spot, I'll call it, is they'd be having a match and all of a sudden, bam bam military press, Spike over his head, Charles Schwartz ropes and lever, they throw little old Spike Dudley, not over the top rope to the floor, over the top rope into the crowd.
Yeah. And that seemed to happen with him a lot. I mean, Spike was that small that he could be tossed. It happened quite a bit with him. There was a lot of blood in this match as well.
Yeah.
You saw Bam Bam get busted open. But ended up, he picked up the win.
Yeah.
So, it was a really good match. And I think that it's a shame that Bam Bam passed away when he did. Because it would have been interesting to see where he would have continued. I mean, he's wrestled in WWF, WCW, ECW, probably Mid-South. I can't remember what promotion in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know. Hell, if he was still here, he probably would end up in AEW.
Could you imagine?
I mean, fuck, continue his feud with Taz?
Oh, yeah.
We knew his feud, I guess.
Yeah, we knew his feud with Taz. Then we go on to the whole effing show. Rob Van Dam and Al Snow, anyways. And the one thing that I really found interesting and kind of a little bit bizarre is Al Snow was wearing an outfit very similar to his Leif Garrison days.
Yep.
With him and Marty Jannetty with the New Rockers.
Yeah, this was Al Snow with the black hair. And, of course, like Kyle said, the New Rockers gimmick outfit. This is probably when he came into ECW. I'm not quite sure exactly when the date was, but yeah. This would be before he would sport the blonde hair and the help sign on his forehead.
Yeah, the blonde hair and the help across his forehead and the mannequin head.
Yep. And so, yeah, this match, there was a lot of cool spots. Rob Van Dam with the Van Daminator, and of course, when he did the 5-star frog splash. You know, I mean, Al Snow got a good offense.
Yeah, everybody remembers Al Snow as like this crazed hardcore wrestler, if you will. But back then, he could go. He could wrestle and wrestle very, very well.
And the thing with Al Snow, too, is that, yeah, as much as he had all these weird gimmicks, yeah, he can definitely wrestle. And that's the thing. A lot of those guys, and we were just talking about it earlier, no matter how stupid the gimmick, they can still fucking go.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what is the most important thing, is can they still wrestle? Can they still put on a good match? And Al Snow definitely was one of those people.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So Van Dam went over.
Yep.
And him and Fonzie, that was a good pairing, right?
Oh, yeah.
And him and, you know, Sabu, a good take team.
Oh, for sure. Like, that trio, if you will. Rob Van Dam, Sabu, and Fonzie, Bill Alfonso.
Yeah. And we talked about last week with Ultimo Dragon holding multiple championships, being one of the first to hold multiple champions. I'm not even sure about that. Rob Van Dam, television title, world title, take team title, you know. He had all the fucking gold at one point.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he held the television title and was one half of tag champions.
Yeah.
Simultaneously. Next, you got a tag team match. You got the Dudley Boys.
Well,
And a tag team that, well, not very highly regarded as a tag team. Well, on the list of definitely very underrated tag teams, and probably most recognized for their work in the WWF,
yeah.
doing the Nation and Domination theme song, PG-13.
Oh god, yeah. This was a good match too, and I mean the Dudleys, holy shit. I mean, if you look at another tag team that has done it all, and I mean these guys really beat the shit out of each other. You know, PG-13, I didn't see a lot of their matches.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and this was a really good match.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I believe the Dudleys went over.
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, this is very cool. And I mean, we'll see what happened, you know. We were just watching something earlier, and I wish that they would make a surprise appearance in a match. Because, I mean, I know they haven't wrestled in a while.
Yeah. I don't know what those guys are up to nowadays, honestly.
Well, because I know Devon's behind the scenes. And
yeah, like Devon does behind the scenes work with WWE. fully... I know he's got a podcast. He was doing some stuff with Ring of Honor, but I haven't seen him do anything with Ring of Honor for the last little while, so not exactly sure what he is doing.
It almost seemed like a one and done deal. He won the triple tag team championships and had the concussion, which was interesting.
Yeah.
And then that was it, basically. Now we go on to our main event. We have Tommy Dreamer versus Jerry the King Lawler. That's interesting. And this match was brutal.
Oh, yeah. You know, and like I said, this was all during the time where they had the invasion, heated rivalry, if you will, with, you know, WWF and ECW. And Jerry Lawler was kind of the head of the whole thing, if you will.
Yeah.
And, you know, to have him and, like, you got legendary wrestler and Jerry the King Lawler and one of the faces of the ECW franchise and Tommy Dreamer, and yeah, it was borderline one-sided ass whooping.
Oh God, yeah.
You got Tommy throwing Jerry into the guardrail, crossing him on the guardrail, Lawler a bloody mess.
Oh God.
And
that's the thing too, like, sorry to cut you off, but that's another example of somebody who can be a gimmick wrestler, like Jerry Lawler, but man, if you watch his matches in AEWA, or like Memphis Wrestling, this was similar. Yeah, like this was the king of that time. I mean, his matches in WWE were not as good as this.
yeah, when he wrestled in WWE, yeah, he still had his kind of normal style, but very, very, very toned down
Yeah.
from what it was, you know, Memphis days, AWA days, you know, this particular point in time. But yeah, just like, it was kind of WWF's way of kind of putting ECW on the map.
Oh, yeah.
Getting eyes on their product.
And that's the thing. Paul Heyman started as a teenager working for Vince McMahon Sr.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he met Vince and Candido McMahon. I don't think they got along, but then ECW came around and Vince was like, hey, let's put these guys on TV.
Yeah.
They're underground promotion, so let's see what they got. And then it comes full circle in 2001, so I mean, and of course, Paul Heyman's still working for WWE to this day.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool in itself. But you look at this match, and you have Rick Rude interfere, and then you have the lights go out, come back on, and you got Jake Roberts clotheslining Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
Which is their rehashed feud from a year earlier.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not sure who else interfered, but this was a hell of a match.
Oh yeah, hell of a
I was wrong. This wasn't the main event. Instead, the main event was a three-way dance. You have Shane Douglas, the franchise, versus Terry Funk, versus the Homicidal Suicidal Sapo! This was a good match.
Yeah, Shane Douglas, Terry Funk, and Sabu, and this match was definitely interesting. Yeah, like Matt said, a very, very good match. And you got Terry Funk, who at this point in time was, I'm sure, well into his 50s probably.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
He can still go though. Shane Douglas, the franchise player, and Sabu, the unorthodox hardcore style. One thing I noticed watching the highlight package for this was pretty much at this point. It changed later on, but for a short period of time, I'll say maybe a year-ish, Shane Douglas's go-to move, and you could even say finisher, was the belly-to-belly suplex.
Yeah.
Which, of course, many wrestlers use, but, of course, we all know the godfather of the belly-to-belly suplex, if you will, of course, is Magnum TA.
Yeah.
He used that as his finisher for many years, well, in his career until the unfortunate accident. But nevertheless, yeah, Shane used, I would have been like 10 belly-to-belly suplexes. He's just Sabu funk, Sabu funk.
Oh yeah.
Just as many times. He did win the match.
This was for the ECW title.
Yeah, the ECW Championship.
Yeah.
Which, of course, Shane Douglas was the champion. And it's interesting because if you look at Shane Douglas throughout majority of his career, and he had short hair. This particular occasion, it was very brief. Not sure how long it was,
Yeah.
but he had long hair.
Yes.
Long
Oh
hair.
yeah. I think even because
Maybe.
yeah, it was short. Obviously, Dean Douglas.
Yeah.
You know, and then WCW, NWA, going over to ECW
Yeah.
with both titles, the infamous promo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this guy, man, like, again, I can't say enough about him. I wish he would have had a title in WWE for longer than a second.
Yeah.
But, and so, I mean, Sabu, another guy that, yeah, I said it before, individual human being, putting himself on the line with just everything. Terry Funk, you know, I mean, you could see the legit scars and
Oh yeah.
shit on his body, just the wear and tear of Sabu and everything. And then, of course, Terry Funk, one of the most devastating wrestlers in the business.
Yeah.
I mean, you date back to the 60s or the 70s
Yeah.
and have him with his brother Dory, and then, you know, going on to other promotions, having that infamous, well, actually, not the only match he had with Jerry Lawler, but the most infamous, the empty arena match.
Yeah. We go back to the Memphis days and the empty arena match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but this was a good match.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, this show in general was awesome. And that was the unique thing about ECW, is that there was no rules. It was
Pretty much.
straight up anarchy, and that's kind of
Yeah.
what was missing in the 2006 ECW rebranding. A good idea at the time, but whatever.
And I think that's what drew a lot of people to ECW, was just like they would have very good matches, just, you know, three-way dances or straight up matches, and they also had just ruthless, intense, hardcore matches and that hardcore style, and people just were drawn to it and fell in love with it.
Yeah, for sure on that. So this was ECW Hardcore Heaven 1997. That rhymes. But,
Yep.
I think next week we're going to continue. Unless, Crown Jewel wouldn't be next week.
Well, coming up, there's a few events. Yeah, Bound for Glory will be doing next Friday, because
Right.
it's this Saturday. And then after that, NXT, the Halloween Havoc and Crown Jewel, I think, are...
Yeah, we could do that. Anyways, so this has been another episode of Wheels of Fury. I'm Mean Matt. This is Killer Kyle. Beat me
If you
might
can survive
if I let you.